Right, so basically the miners have been doing really well. Gold, silver, and the miners during the market drop. Now today we had a market up move, pretty big move. I'm just thinking, where's next resistance on the markets? Maybe 580, maybe 585 on the S&P. Then you should kind of retrace a bit and go back down. But we don't really care. DXY has also gone up, hit a bit of resistance, I would say here around 104.5. We still don't care because we have been going up regardless of all this stuff. But likewise, look, a bit of resistance on the yield. So 30, 10 year, you could say is in line horizontally, could go a little higher, could be hitting resistance already. We don't care. I'm not going to spend that long because honestly, we go up regardless. Now, we have gone down a little bit. So the high, let's call it 3,060. The breakout really is, 2,950, but really 3,000 is what we're touching right now. So is 3,000 support? Yes, not very strong support. It's a psychological number. We've hit it twice here, 2 days. We're still closed above it. I have no problem dropping a bit more back down to 2,960. Maybe we go a bit lower. We got this ascending support. So this here was a bit of resistance. So I would say you've got besides 3,000, right? We could close below 3,000 tomorrow. I have no problem if that happens, especially if the miners go up or sideways. I actually welcome that. For me, the best combination is the metals going down, the miners going up because I'm so heavily in the miners. I think most of you guys are too. So 3,000 is your first support. After that, not really 2,980. After that, you got this breakout zone of 2,960 just below. But if you keep going down, you got a little secondary one, and it might be that one. If you do start to flush, you might end up hitting this ascending 2,930 if it kind of happens soon. There's that time element, of course. But you got to zoom out and remember how absolutely vertical we've been moving. So when I'm talking about, 2,930, that's here, by the way, not even. Look where we are. It's still on the absolute steepest of ascending. So even if you come back down to this area, 2,008, 2,800, and remember, you've probably got this stronger ascending, this one here, right? That's your super. I mean, we're far from testing that. But this, when you zoom out, is like the first obvious support, ascending strong support. And that would coincide with this. We are far, that's actually quite straight, isn't it? We're far from touching that. So for me, if we have a bit of a flush, market has one last hurrah, maybe that's what takes gold down a little bit. You've got sort of this zone. And when you lose that, honestly, there's so much support. You got this, if you're really zoomed in. But otherwise, this huge zone, because think of how long it might take, 2, 3, 4 days. But the trend is just bullish. You could take out 20 support zones, it's still bullish. Let's see if we even close below 3,000. The way things are going, it's absolutely invincible. But those are kind of the zones I'm watching. Now that's not the worst thing because if the miners go sideways or sideways even down with gold going down, better yet up, for me that's actually a good day. Right, let's check out silver. Silver, I was really looking for that test. Everyone was looking at that $35 test. We just kind of failed to close above 34. So that'll be your next resistance. Already we can sort of readjust resistance as now 34 on a daily close basis. For me, silver is easier to call. It's just support is this ascending. Kind of also the low of this area. So $32. So if we do have a mini flush, 32 is straight away what we get. Still, bullish pattern, of course, but silver can lose it quicker, of course, than gold. Has far fewer support zones, but at least it's easier to call. So for me, you got this little $32 zone. If we start to go lower tomorrow, that'll be your first level. If we lose it, then it's going to be 31. It's always quite simple with silver. And after that, yeah, 30. Resistance though is this now, this 34. And then after that, 35. I used to think 34.5, but honestly, if we close above 34, it's probably the next day 35. So, well, actually just below 35. So those are your levels, gold, silver. Let's look at the miners. Now, miners, I actually don't mind. GDX. We did close at low of day, but it's not a horrible day. It's like not even 0.5%. This prior resistance is your support. We can see the day before also. So Friday, yeah, Friday that was also tested and we closed well above it. Today it was closed but still above it. So let's just say 44 is support. If we lose it, yeah, I think we go down to around here. Let's call it 42.5. We could just overshoot a little bit. Yeah, 42, 42.5. If we go lower than that, I don't think we need to think about that, but I'll already put in place this ascending. Yeah, I don't think we need to think about that just now. But there you go, that's GDX. Let's look at SIL. Yeah, this one's come down more, but that's silver, so that makes sense. Is that now actually resistance? No, it can't be. Hmm, harder to call. I mean, this is your first obvious level, but we're not getting there. Well, let's say Friday's low of day is one area, so we could at least use that. If we close below that, then we could start moving towards like sub 38 zone. Uh, don't think we need to look into it too much more than that. Just follow silver and GDX to indicate to get an idea of where SIL might go. GDXJ, pretty strong. There we close below this. I think we're going to keep Friday's low of day as a general judge. As that's your first level of support. After that, nope, not that one. It's going to be this one. At least now it is. And we could have some extra support from the ascending. And that'll do for now. Of course, resistance is going to be the old high, which is pretty much here anyway, 58, basically 58. SILJ, yeah, that's correct. It coincides with Friday's low of day. Had a much better close. We didn't close at low of day. Interesting, SILJ. But then again, silver was down less than gold, even though it's sort of nowhere near as high, relatively speaking. So that's quite good. The ascending here doesn't really make sense. But anyway, I'll draw it anyway. Yeah, so let's see. Let's see if 1220 holds. Otherwise, we go down another level. That won't be great. Then we go down to sort of 1150, maybe. The resistance is 13. That's obvious. Good. I think that's pretty clear. We need silver to hold and go back up, but some of these miners, let's very quickly look at the portfolio. Newmont, pretty good. Resistance, yeah, okay, it's the same thing anyway. Resistance is just above 48. Support is going to be Friday's low of day, but also I go on Friday's low of day plus this in case we start to flush. I don't think we're going to flush that much. I think some of these miners, especially these seniors that are still undervalued, they should hold. They really should all hold here. I think people are starting to understand they should be way, way higher with gold where it is. Because even if gold flushes, it's not going to go down that much. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with those levels on Newmont, Barrick Gold. I wonder if we have a steep ascending somewhere here. No, it could be a false signal. Yes, Friday's low of day again is your support. After that, we'll go down here, but probably not in one go. Resistance can now be moved up there. Keep it simple. That's quite good, actually. A nice bounce in 2 days. We're testing this, high 19s, which is basically 20. So that's pretty good. Agnico Eagle. Yeah, I would say so. But then again, Friday's low of day. No, I'm going to keep this. It hits so many times. Basically 100. That's your area. If we do go all the way down that horizontal hold, let's do a little ascending. This is just going to keep going up regardless. Next is Pan American Silver. Let's throw in straight away the resistance up here, 2750. I think this is generally... No, let's move it. Friday's low of day. Kind of this zone. That's your first level of support. If we lose that, yeah, we're going to test this level, which we've been to already. I doubt that's going to happen. This gap fill's already been done, actually. I'm just going to delete that. That'll do. Keep it. I don't think it's going that low. Low 23s, I don't think so. Let's see what happens. I think it's going to hold. Next is Wheaton. So strong. All right. We don't really need the resistance. It's a bit like Agnico Eagle. I didn't put it in for Agnico Eagle. It's the new all-time high. That was pretty good close. It's holding this low. You know what? I can't believe it, but Friday's low of day could be a level to watch. If it drops, then why is that a level? No, it shouldn't be. Hmm. That's a bit tougher to call, actually. Maybe it is 71. I don't know. We'll just watch GDX for that one. It's quite hard to call. Next is Franco Nevada. Wow, they made a new high. I had no idea. That one really has been outperforming. Next level is 160. I would say that this is a level. Well, yeah, today's high is a level, let's be honest. The support is going to be the low of the last couple of days, which is pretty much close to Friday. So I'll just consider it as Friday's low of day, but it's actually the day before Thursday. After that, you know what? If we do come back down here, it is going to be a retest of this breakout. And it coincides with this horizontal. So just, yeah, it's quite a few areas triangulating. So I'll leave that yellow one to sort of consider it as a strong support. So 1, 2 levels on the way down in case we have a flush. That'll do. I could even remove some of these. Metalla, that was doing okay actually during today. Okay, Friday's low of day. That's fine. And then you got this area, which I wanted to sell 320. I already did, didn't I? Did I? I've forgotten. Maybe I dropped it a bit early. But yeah, 320. I'm gonna leave it 320. After that, it's 340 or just below 340. I mentioned those levels many times. So it's gonna be 1, 2. We're not gonna go higher than that for at least 1 or 2 days. If we lose this, we know how terrible it can be. So I'll just sort of leave this in this 260 zone, maybe just above. There you go. Keep it simple. Metalla. I just really want it up at 340 actually, that one. Right, let's start going to the silver stocks. First Majestic. That one's really tested the ranges nicely. So up here, we've got this 750 zone. You can see the support there, the resistance there. So the wicks hitting it each time. So let's call it 755. Well, actually, it's now 750. And then support is going to be this 680, the famous 680 that's been holding Friday's low of day. If we start to flush for whatever reason, it's 620. We know these ranges, of course, up here just in case, and then it'll be a real breakout zone. It's okay. It's quite good actually, and it makes sense, you know. When we were higher, it went and touched all the way up here. Now we've gone lower. It started to find support on the support zone. Very nice. Next one is Fortuna. That's really strong still, isn't it? So that one just kept going up. Almost tested 620. Okay, but we do technically have a new high, so let's call it, yeah, 613. Then I'm gonna move this here just because of the wicks. And that close was quite nice there today. It's actually a green day, wasn't it? Incredible. Really nice. Tomorrow, if we have any sort of bounce in the metals, this thing's going straight up. Could even test 620. So I'll extend this high. That's definitely possible even tomorrow. I might even move it up a little bit. So there you go, two resistances to consider in the immediate short term. And then here, I'm still going to say 580 close below that. Then you can look lower. And then, yeah, I think that area makes sense. This one maybe doesn't anymore. Or it's like a secondary one. Yeah, 550. That's okay. It could go below actually, but for now, I'll just leave it like that. Very nice. Next one, CDE. Another one a bit like First Majestic went all the way up. Touch this zone, this 680, come back down. Now it's sort of finding support just above around 610. I'm just going to leave that there, but yeah, okay, 610-ish. So 610 to 680, let's see what happens. I agree. In case it keeps going low, then it's this 550 zone. But that's actually done a nice move in the end, hasn't it? So we want that curl and then up, up, and then closing above 680, and then we can actually start testing the mid sevens, which is really impressive. I didn't think we'd get that high, but CDE tends to impress. Next is Heckler. That's really good. Look at that close on a day where silver and the miners are down. That's really good, actually. I think that's one of the best closes ever. I mean, the last couple of sort of weeks over here. So your next resistance to break is that red high that they all have the same sort of candle. 606, close above that. Bam, you're testing 640. So 1, 2, this can go. This we can extend because it's the low of that sort of Friday. So support is 560. Next resistance is 606. And then we've got the 640, etc., etc. I don't think we're going to go lower than that. If we do, that's your real support just under 5. Right, EXK, can get rid of that. This takes care of that. The high is all the way up here, 513. Your support is 460. Not really. Let's call it 450. Yeah, okay, 460. Close below 460, start coming down. It's not obvious where it would start to stabilize, so I'll leave it blank. You can watch silver in the GDX to make up your minds there. That's okay though. That nice day there really helped. All the way up there at 5 sort of 20. Come back down here like many have, like First Majestic, like CD. We want a little curl and then go back up and then take out the 52-week high. Very nice EXK. Mag Silver, decent earnings. I think it just missed or something. Announcing a dividend, but that explains a 6, almost 7% at 1.8%, I think, or even higher move when silver is down. So that's beautiful. You can see it touched 17, went below it. Oh, I should have had a sell in at 60.99, didn't hit. Maybe I removed it. But that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So support, I'm going to say it's down here, 15.30. This is irrelevant. 17 remains your resistance. You want a daily close above that, but your real absolute last resistance is 17.30 before we hit 18. So I'm going to leave both of those lines in, 17, 17.30, and the old high all the way up here, 18. That's all you need to know about Mag Silver. If we have a bounce move tomorrow, we're probably going to close above 17.30. So that's nice. Next is Aris Mining. That had a good day too, right? Given it's a big red day. So resistance for me is now 460. A close above that, we go all the way up here to 490. That's where I've got my trim. I don't may have trimmed once here, but actually I've left it. I'm looking for a bigger move, and it's actually proved itself today. If we go back down, no, it wouldn't be there. It'd be the descending retest, which would probably coincide with it here. But actually, your first level is this sort of zone here, this low 430s. You've been holding it well so far. Next, I am gold. Gap fill is done. That can go. This is now your resistance, 620. Down here, I agree with that support. You'll probably get around 570. Friday's low, we've already closed below, so I'm going to leave that. I don't think we're going all the way down here, but if you have a big flush everywhere, metals, miners, definitely, then you could get there in like 2 bad days, maybe 3 pretty bad days. So I'll leave even $5 in. That should be extremely strong support. So yeah, those 4 lines is all you need to know, actually. Nice, keeps it simple. Those 4 lines, horizontal. Next, B2 gold. Yeah, that's amazing. So, I mean, I went all the way up here, trim, tried to break out, tried to hold and continue. Down we go. So down it goes. Yeah, support is going to be, maybe it's just below 3, maybe it's just above 3. I'm going to leave it here. Old resistance should become support, give or take 1 or 2 cents. So 295 for me is where you get your support. Um, just wondering if there's something here. Come on, let's do it anyway. 295, and then yeah, you do have other horizontals to help, but that ascending could end up being useful if we don't sort of rally soon. There you go, 295 for me, just in case 280, but I don't see it going much lower. I think it's sort of proved itself that it wants to break out. It's getting to a nice squeezy pennant though. B2 gold should have a nice move soon as we turn. I would also, however, add this little high resistance, and this can go now. In fact, I'm tempted to even take this one out, but I prefer to leave it just because it reminds me how significant the breakout is. So middle of the road, 295 on the way down, just in case we further flush 280. But otherwise, we want to curl and basically go back and test this 335, close above it and run to 350. I'm very tempted to take this out because I know it's happened. There you go. All right, next is Equinox. Holding this 670, so 70, let's call it 672. That's okay. It's your first level. If we lose that down, we go to 620. I think that's acceptable. If we keep going down, then there's your next level. Forget that. It's not going to happen for now. Otherwise, retest old high 720. There you go. And we have another resistance in case we go back out high. But for me, that's just three levels. Where we are now, 670, middle of the top and low range. Otherwise, 620, 720. I like that. SSRM holding nicely. Still following this one, even though I'm out of it. So recent high 1130. Wow, nice. That's cool. I'm not sure what your support is. Let's just do today's low of day. If we start to flush that, I mean, you're probably going to encounter, yeah, horizontal or even ascending. So I'll leave that as it is. You could start to flush a bit, but that's done so well. That's held up real nice. The squeeze continues. All right, finally, SPSW. Let's remove this. That's been taken care of. Resistance is going to be the old high. Let's call it 450, a daily close above that. If we come back down, we might have to, even the gap fill wants it, 410, yeah. 410. If we take that out, I'll leave it for now, but probably start finding support quicker than we think. Maybe even 370, something like that. All right, and if we do take out 450, off we run to 520. Okay, look, I mean, we've come down a little bit. For me, portfolio is basically hovering at all-time highs. Maybe I benefited from some big moves in some of the other stocks I hold, which is nice little hedging. But basically, I'm at all-time highs, just a little pinch below any sort of move tomorrow in the miners, and it's all new all-time highs. And I absolutely love that because some of them are on, I don't want to say nowhere near their all-time highs, but they're not at their all-time highs. So well, almost all of them. So I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And maybe the market goes, and also I don't mind miners not going up much on a market update because I don't think the market is very strong at the moment, and we're almost close to going back down. And if a red market equals minus green, great. And plus we had metals down, closing at low of day, and the miners are basically unchanged, one or two of them nicely up. So for me, it was a very good day. It wasn't the most exciting for the metals, and it was a bit of a red day if you have to choose between the colors. But I actually, those days sometimes are the best. So love it and look forward to tomorrow. Good luck.